Uh, yeah.
Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining us once again here on Talkin Fight from the episode of the Friday Night Panel. As always, we've got Tim Witherspoon in the house, JJ, Mike Gore, myself, Grumpy Graham. We're ready to rumble.
Grumpy Graham! Grumpy Graham, I didn't know that.
No, you can't.
Mike! Grumpy Graham, I like that.
That's right.
That was good.
That's
Shania laughing.
That would caught me off guard a little bit.
After all these comments and Carl piping in about, I'm always so bitter about Eddie Hearn and all that stuff. And I'm not, but it's just I tell the truth.
What about Eddie Hearns?
Oh, I've got nothing negative to say about Eddie today.
Yeah, this week.
I know you love everybody. I know you love everybody.
Oh,
you just like to tell the truth sometimes, right?
That's right.
Or
That's right.
something near the truth.
That's right. And I will start off by saying I think it's really interesting what's happening over in the UK with respect to not only the drug testing policies that they have, which have now found out Amir Khan, but also how they handled the Ellie Scottney situation because she was scheduled to be on the undercard with the big fight between Cameron and Taylor, and in fact she got pulled. I'm going to say it for political reasons, which is really unfair, but it's happening, and so that completely overshadowed the Amir Khan thing. So the British boxing scenario is sliding quickly, I might add, and start to this show. But listen, it's not my show; it's your show. Why don't you take it away, Mike, and let me know what's coming up this weekend?
Well, it's not my show. It's Tim's show, isn't it? Up in the title, I'm reading it right now. It says Tim Witherspoon and Friends. So.
Hey, wait a minute. You gotta talk after this over. We gotta talk.
We'll defer all talks to Double G over here, Grumpy Graham.
I know the boxing world has Triple G. Now they've got Double G.
Yeah, Double G.
You serious? Who's Double G?
Grumpy Graham.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Enough of this. Let's get on to boxing tonight, guys. 7th of April, 9 p.m. Nearly 2 months after O'Sheik Foster became the 88th Showbox, the new generation alumni to win a world title. 2 young super lightweight prospects will battle it out on the prospect-oriented series. Shenard Bunch, 21-1 with 16 KOs from Queens, New York, takes on Mexico's Brian Flores, who's 20-1 with 13 KOs in a 10-round super lightweight contest starting at 10 p.m., guys, Eastern time, live on Showtime. This one is from Cash Creek Casino in Brooks, California. Co-main event, Neri Romero, who is 16-0, no KOs, of Argentina, takes on Frenzy Forteno, who's 15-1 with 11 KOs, of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, in a 10-round super feather bout. And this telecast opens with Raul Garcia, who's 12-0 with 10 KOs, of the Dominican Republic, taking on Robert Terry, who's 9-0 with 3 KOs, of Jersey City. With both fighters putting their unbeaten streaks to the test in this 8-round super welter bout. This one's going to be great, guys. Definitely one to watch. Any thoughts on this one? Anybody?
I'm lost in space with the boxing industry in terms of watching boxing fights. I'm lost in space, and I'm really, you keeping up with the Joneses. You got everything in order with fighting that thing. That's cool.
Thank you.
So, at what time is this event being televised?
This one's getting underway at 10 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m.
Yeah, live on Showtime. So,
right.
Guys, don't miss this one, man. Bunch Flores 10-round super lightweight main event, and there's gonna be some great co-main event. Undercard's looking pretty good. If you guys don't know, Manuel Avila, Raul Garcia, Jahi Brown. That's what it's going to be. It's a small little card, so check it out. something to watch tonight to prep you for tomorrow.
Ooh.
Tomorrow, which tomorrow starts at 3 a.m., guys. Tomorrow we're getting underway. We're getting underway live from Tokyo. Starts at 3 a.m. Eastern time. This one, the show goes on. WBC, WBA light flyweight world champion Kenshiro, the Amazing Boy Tajiri, was supposed to face WBO champ Jonathan Gonzalez in a 3-belt unification title, but unfortunately, Gonzalez withdrew with an illness. Tajiri will now defend his titles against undefeated American challenger Anthony Oslaga. A 5-fight card will also feature Teshin Nakazawa. His debut as a professional boxer, former multi-division kickboxing world champion, will face Yuki Yanaha in a 6-round junior featherweight attraction. This one, guys, you're going to have to wake up super early or still be partying for this one. But if you're still partying, you might not catch the end of that one, which is the fight you want to see. So maybe just set your alarms, guys, for this. In other scheduled action, Takumi Inoue.
Anyway.
Yeah, this one it's the brother. 17-1 with 4 KOs. He's taking on Libero Solis.
Inoue has a brother?
Yeah, Takumi.
Oh, okay.
And they're all out of the Tekken gym, right?
Yeah, and Tekken, like I said, I did that special on Japan a long time ago. Tekken gym is one of those gyms that goes way back to the early 1900s. The master traveled over to America to learn the sport to bring it back. And I think the gym was founded in like 1910 or 1912 or something like that. It's pretty old. And they've turned out over 30 world champions since owning it. So shout out to them.
And those 30 world champions was mostly in the lower weight classes, anywhere between.
These guys rule they rule the lightweight. This kid, he's the younger brother of the pound for pound Naiwa. He's won 4 straight fights since challenging for the WBC crown. Solis, former junior bantamweight world champion, he'll be making his 5th attempt at the bantamweight world title. Also in action, Kiko Martinez. 44, 11-2, 31 KOs. No denying that this guy's a true veteran in the ring, man. He's taking on Rhea Abe, who's 24-3-1 with 10 KOs, 12 rounds. This one's for the IBF featherweight world title eliminator. Martinez is a 2-weight world champion who hopes to reign the IBF featherweight crown, currently held by top ranks Luis Alberto Lopez, who's coming off a stunning 4th-round stoppage over European champion Jordan Gill. Abe has won 5 straight fights and has never been knocked out in the paid ranks. So definitely, this one's a good one to wake up for, or throw on when you're about to go to bed. Something to watch. Yeah. Any thoughts on these guys, or we're just gonna move right along to the next one?
Well, the only thought that I had is I probably will watch the rerun of it, because at 3:00 in the morning I'll be snoozing. So.
You'll be boozed time.
Before you move on there, Mike, let's address that really interesting question from Adari. Can anyone imagine if Muhammad Ali was a southpaw heavyweight boxer? That's a good one to ponder. Because Is it
true? Is it true?
No, he's saying the question is from one of our good viewers. Just imagine if Muhammad Ali was a southpaw.
Well, Tim, you sparred him. What would you say if he was a southpaw? What do you think? Would he have gone the same distance? Do you think he would have done the same things? Do you think he would have been as good?
It is kind of difficult to fight southpaws if you don't know how to fight them, and if you got a lot of like inspiration and motive and push as Ali did. I think he would have been really good, because it's hard to fight southpaws. It's hard to fight him, and if he was as great as he is fighting southpaw, it'll make it more complicated, I think, for the right-handed fighter. And so, if he had the right mind, the same thing doing southpaw, I would think he would be a lot more devastating, because it's harder to fight southpaws.
And I can completely agree with you, Tim, because back in those times, there wasn't a lot of boxers that fought southpaw. I mean, that's just coming about in the last, I would say 15, 20 years that, now you're getting a lot of boxers actually switching up. They're typically right hand, they go right with the right hand, but they want to fight with their strong hand in the front.
No, but
that way they can control that
real
distance.
quick, and go head back. A lot of trainers that didn't have the knowledge didn't know that you should switch them over. They fighting with the right hand, they strengthen the front, but the smart trainers will make them switch back to like with the right hand in the back. Like Marvin Hagler, he was right-handed, but he fought this way. He needed somebody to make him switch back. Now go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
And basically the same thing with a left-hand fighter. If they're a left-hand fighter, why not put your strong hand in the front? That's pretty much what all these boxers are doing right now. I mean, I know several of these up-and-coming boxers that are literally right-handed, and their ability to throw these punches, with one hand, they could throw 3, 4 punch combinations with that one hand. It's just amazing. And they just, they blind them with that strong hand, and they come back with, with the weak hand. But these boxers that have been training since they were young children, they're pretty much strong in both hands, as well. So I truly believe that if that was a thing back in the day, it could have probably today it would have just switched the whole game around, So yeah,
I'm kind of against that in a way. I believe, and I was taught that you keep your power in the back and develop the weak part. Why would I put I know we was talking in the beginning about it, but why would you put your strength in the front? Because you want to finish them off was back here. So develop the front. So I'm right-handed. I will keep my dangerous stuff in the back and develop the front. Work them over with the front and then finish them with what's in back of you. A lot of boxers. I mean, a lot of great trainers. They do that too. I was surprised that Marvin Hagler. They didn't switch him around. Now we were doing Marvin Hagler yesterday. We had a little podcast yesterday with Bruce Gass, and we were talking about it. Marvin Hagler, when he fought Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler didn't look like a typical southpaw because he was right-handed trying to fight southpaw. But you could tell a southpaw when he's regular fighting. But so you could tell he was a right-handed guy that switched forward because his movement wasn't correct. So I believe that you should keep your power in the back. That's just my opinion. Keep your power in the back. Develop the front. Make the front stronger. So you can take him off. Like Deontay Wilder, he's right-handed. If he developed what's in front of him, he would still be undefeated. If this was right, this is a killer, right? And defense, Deontay Wilder would still be undefeated. So we talking skills right now, and that's pretty cool. I like what you're saying about the southpaws.
Yeah, and most definitely, I do know several fighters that are ambidextrous, so they're able to switch back and forth. Oh yeah, and these kids are animals. These kids are animals. They're able to switch back and forth, give you a different look, confuse you, and they're coming up right now, and the amateurs, and you better watch out. Mike, I'll share that information with you later. That way, you can go ahead and do your homework.
See, you gotta have a trainer that's intelligent enough so you can capitalize on that switching back and forth. That's one thing. Now you could switch on both sides, but there is some people out there that can show you where you could benefit on that switching back and forth.
Well,
if you try to do it on your own, you look awkward doing it.
Right,
Yeah,
when you fight in southpaw, you're always fighting for that lead foot position too, right? They're always trying to get that outside, and the southpaw stance, you can build that power in both hands. They got that effective jab, and they can get your power shots too, man.
And one of those boxers right now, he's in the top pound for pound rankings. That's Terrence Crawford. Perfect example. It's. I mean, Tim, you know better than me, and all of us. You've been in the ring. It's not always good to switch. In the middle of the fight. You got to know when to switch. But if you develop that ability, then you most likely have the upper hand.
I'm not down with that, but I'm not down with switching back and forth. I'm down with keeping the power in the back and developing the lead hand. I always thought that those trainers that do that don't really know that much.
Yeah.
Or they just try to box like switch back and forth instead of teach the boxer a basic. Come on, you got to put your power in the back, jab, slip here, slip there, instead of keep switching back and forth. Those type of trainers, I know a lot of them, and I don't agree with them. I rather
Mm.
stay there's power in the back, develop the jab, slip, all that stuff like that. So I just
You know who
switching
knows?
back and forth is like
You know who really knows
showboating in a
about that,
way,
Tim?
huh?
Do you know who really knows all about that? The 38 people that you put to sleep.
I thought it was 39. I thought it was
Well,
39.
You took
well, I
one
don't know.
away.
What or do they count the people that you knocked out in the street too, or?
No, I no, I
Because
didn't.
that'd be way more, right? It'd be like 138.
Well, I know that if I would have had a larger maybe a little bit more, maybe 10 or 20 more amateur fights, that would have got me ready. Like I said, I was fighting. I started boxing in '79. I'm fighting one of the greatest boxers, and 3 years later, I had a good trainer. He got me ready, Slim Robinson. So there's a lot of other guys that take you a little bit longer, but he gave me confidence. So '79, I had 7 amateur fights. Then I had 14 professional fights, and I'm fighting one of the greatest boxers. I wasn't even scared of him either. We took his jab away. That was the fight. So you take the strength away, champ, and you pretty much could win that fight. So if a lot of boxers knew the other guy's strength, if he had 2 strengths, you might be in trouble. But if he had one, concentrate on getting rid of that, and you could have a good chance of winning that fight.
Do you remember Joe Adams?
Joe, I knocked Joey out, right? Joey was big, but
That was that was that
he
was your
didn't have that
that
much
was your
skills. Wasn't he opponent? Was he opponent?
that
What
was
was his record?
that was your debut, and that was his debut.
Oh, Joey, that was the first round knockout.
Yeah,
He was big. I was 190 something. My
you were
first
190. You were
10 fights.
197. 197. He came in
197. Yeah, my first 7 to 10 fights, I was light. And then Slim told me just to drink a beer every once in a while. I was trying to gain weight, and he said, Tim, he said, look, I don't care if you drink a beer here now and then. Just get that weight up. Seriously, Slim told me that. Slim Robinson. That was good those days like that. So when we fought Larry, I thought we wasn't ready, and Slim said, Tim, you're gonna kick his behind. So Slim knew more than me. I was just 13, 14 fights. And like I said on the show before, I said, Slim, come on. He said, Tim, we're gonna whip his behind. And he gave me that confidence. That's what Anthony Joshua need. And that's what a couple of these other guys need. A trainer that can say, oh man, I know he know his stuff. And I know that if he direct me, I'll be all right. Soon as Slim said that, I said, okay, because he was teaching me defense, everything, countering. I had so much belief in him, man. And Anthony Joshua, you can tell when you look at him, he don't have that belief. Dante Wilder and Malik Scott, we talked about that on the other show. Why would he hire somebody he knocked out? It's really bad. Tyson Fury, he got plenty of heart. He got a whole bunch of people behind him. That's his force. But they just need the right people in their corner. I'm telling you. I'm talking about Dante Wilder, Anthony Joshua need a lot more help because Tyson Fury is holding his own without a real good trainer. His trainer never fought. And I love everybody. I want to say this. I'm just speaking. One last thing. Now, I was talking to my marketing director, and he told me to stop. Don't say too much about Freddie Roach, right? He said, don't talk negative of people. I was with Hurricane Carter, and Hurricane Carter was down on him. Hurricane Carter was like, oh, Freddie Roach can't do this and that. And I was like, look, I watched Freddie Roach's fight real quick. I watched his fights. He got hit a lot. I feel sorry that he got sick, but Manny Pacquiao made him who he is. When Manny Pacquiao laid off, you didn't hear nothing about Freddie Roach. They didn't like when I said that. They gave him trainer of the year. I love the guy. But when he held the patch, he just do this. And Pacquiao does everything. but they made him one of the best trainers during that time. I respect him. And Barry McGuigan told him that I said something about him because I was talking to Barry in Ireland. I was with Barry McGuigan in Ireland with the Lords of the Ring show. We had a big reality show with all the boxers. Tyson Fury was there, and Barry McGuigan. I said, Barry, I don't think Freddie is good. And Barry was like, "Oh, he's a real good trainer." He got mad at me. Barry McGuigan got mad at me, and I was like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" And then I think he told Freddie Roach, because Freddie, when the last time I'd seen him at the fights, Deontay Wilder fought down in, when they had the fights down there, he turned away from me. I went to shake his hands and he turned away from me. I love the brother. If Tyson says something, don't nobody say nothing. I rest my case. When Tyson says stuff, don't nobody criticize him. They punked. I'm telling you. Hey, it's the truth. All I did, and I love everybody. I just told him what I feel.
Well,
Rose is a good guy. He got hit a lot, but I don't think he's the best trainer that out there. He's a good guy.
see, Usyk called him a greedy belly, so definitely Usyk. He called him greedy belly.
He called who?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. He called him greedy belly.
What's that mean?
Well,
It was
and they're what?
supposed to get him to enter the ring is what it was supposed to do, but it didn't.
Oh, he trying to get Tyson Fury to fight him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was trying to Tyson Fury in their contract stipulation was the split was 70-30. And then Usyk said, "Okay, whatever, let's do it. I want that WBC belt."
He took the 30.
Oh yeah, but they're not gonna fight now. But yeah, he took the 30, and then
are we ever going to see these belts freaking undisputed or what? Like they've never been undisputed in the 4-belt era.
Not in our lifetime.
What happened when these guys were actually like really talking shit to each other? Like, yo, man, if we were in jail, you'd be holding my pocket, bitch. Like stuff like that. You'd be walking around the yard, you'd be holding my pocket. That was a little more.
Hey, let me show you guys. I hate to switch back and forth. Let me show you guys what I was doing over the last weekend. Y'all tell me who it is real quick. And we were talking to her. It's a girl. Y'all tell me if y'all know who it is. Let me see if I can get it on the big thing here. Okay, hold on.
He's talking about the big thing. Uh-oh.
Here we go. Y'all tell me if you can see who that is.
Nah.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
No.
That girl in the back. What this stuff is?
The bald head.
Rose.
Yeah, Rose.
That's me showing her. Hold on.
Oh,
could you see that?
Yeah.
That's me showing her skills at an event.
You're knocking out some young girl?
No.
Oh.
She's a kickboxer, might turn pro. Rose something. And I'm teaching her how to slip. Let's do another 10 seconds. I'll show you. See that? I'm showing her at an event. And I might be helping her. She's a kickboxer. And she was champ. And I think she lost her thing. And they was interested. And
Doug Rose.
Huh?
Rose
Namajunas? Yeah. So that's me
from UFC.
That's me showing her how to keep her defense tight and block jabs and all that. And they liked it, but we just waiting. Her boyfriend was her trainer.
Yeah.
Didn't she have the championship?
She fought in the UFC.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I was doing. Over the weekend we went up there and we went down to Atlantic City. Was Atlantic City? Am I punchy? I'm getting punchy. Oh God! Anyway, we went down there last week, 2 weeks ago, and she was there. So we trying to help her out. She was champ or something, right? She's real nice.
She took on,
her boyfriend is training her, but she needs some help in terms of boxing. So if she want to switch over,
she took out Zhang Weili to win the title at UFC 261.
Hey Tim.
Yes.
We have a question from the listener. we have discussed this before, but I'd like to know again because
Okay.
you're on a special diet nowadays. But back in the day when you were fighting, two questions have popped up in the comment section. One, would you have fought Evander Holyfield? And two, um, did you eat a lot of food as a heavyweight in your prime?
I w- did I eat a lot of food? Yeah, I ate a lot of
Because
food.
nowadays you're on a special diet, but back in the day, like
I
like
ate. I in the beginning. Like I told her, I stopped eating beef 50 years ago and pork 50 years ago. Um, I wasn't eating beef and pork when I was fighting. Near the end, I turned vegetarian. Did I eat a lot of food? I ate a lot of pasta. Everybody thought I was Italian. I know. I ate a lot of pasta because I was told that if you eat pasta the night before, you'll get that energy in the morning. You won't get it right now. You just get sleepy when you eat it tonight. So if I ate some tonight, I'll get sleepy. But tomorrow, that's when the energy will come out of that pasta. So I used to do that a lot. I was born down in most of the Italian neighborhood, and wearing a lot of tires and eating. I used to eat pasta all the time. So um, I was heavy, and then I got light in the beginning. I wasn't that much heavier, but I was like when I first started boxing, I was 110. And then when I trained, I was down like 195. Fighting my first 10 fights, I was 195 to 205. No
be,
more
be,
than that. So
before we move on to Evander Holyfield, I'm just curious though, is it a Philly tradition to drink a cup full of raw eggs before you go running?
I,
Blech.
I don't think it was before you go running. It's just to drink them anyway. But I never wanted to do stuff like that. That'd make me gag.
God.
Throw up. Yeah, AIDS. Everybody talked about that. I even seen guys that didn't fight. Oh man, he did like this with the egg and sucked it
Are
down.
you
I
trying to
said
give
he
it?
crazy. This old man on the
Wouldn't that
corner.
give you salmonella? When you get salmonella poisoning from that?
Oh,
Hey man,
No, no,
I
salmonella is typically on the outer shell.
it
I only
It,
is.
it's
I
It,
only know that from the first Rocky movie.
hey,
Oh,
wait. So salmonella is what?
so
When they,
the chicken needs a salmonella in their stomach to process whatever grubs and worms and bugs they eat. So when they lay the egg, they also excrete poop on it, and that's why when you get the egg, you have to wash it because that poop it contains salmonella.
there you go,
Whoa,
there you
that's
go.
the
You learn.
first I heard
oh,
of that.
so, so it says raw eggs aren't safe to eat if they are unpasteurized. That means they could contain harmful
Yeah,
bacteria. Even though eggs can be sold as pasteurized, meaning they are heated just enough so bacteria is killed off, you still shouldn't crack open an egg and start chowing down.
I vomited every time if they wasn't cooked all the way, I would throw up. I swear. If eggs wasn't cooked all the way, I would throw up. I didn't like them for a while. I had to overcook them just to eat them. I
Well,
only eat the egg whites now because it's protein. I dump the yellow out and just cook egg whites.
WebMD says eating raw eggs can be potentially dangerous if they contain salmonella. It says about 1 in 20,000 eggs does.
Wow. Oh, that's easy. That's not bad.
Ugh.
all right, let's quickly move on. Did you have an opportunity to fight Evander Holyfield? Was he around in your day?
This would happen. Yes, this would happen, and the same thing with Tyson. At that time, they said Evander Holyfield had some type of problem with his heart. So they turned the fight down. Tyson management turned it down, but Tyson would have fought me. But I found out that his management turned the fight down. And I said, whoa, okay. Evander, they said, had something was wrong with his heartbeat. At the time I was supposed to fight him, and I'm saying, whoa, okay, you got heart. But it could have been really because if Timmy in shape, we're gonna have a problem. But if he's out of shape, we'll get him. But I know Mike would fight me with the blink of his eye, and Evander. They had big hearts. But that's what happened. We was told that he at one point he had something they called the hard heart. If you could remember that, they said he had that, and he had to lay off for a little bit. That was at the time I was supposed to fight him, but uh, um okay, Evander, but Tyson, he would have, like I said again, he would have fought me, but his management turned us down. And that's
Wow.
documented. That's whoa, that was cool when they said that. Mike can fight anybody. you
I,
know,
I
so that,
I didn't know
that
that
was
I didn't know there
cool.
was ducking back in the day. Wow.
No, that was cool, but the management did it. The management, that was cool.
Hmm.
That helped me a little bit. They asked me them questions.
See, there we go. Answering all your questions. All right, Mike, what's up next?
Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Right? Who
Yes, yes,
we featured him on Talkin' Fight.
yes, we have. This one, boxing's youngest world champion, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 17-0, 11
Woo!
KOs, attempts to become the two-weight ruler when he clashes with Christian Gonzalez, who's 15-1 with 5 KOs for that vacant WBO 112-pounder tomorrow. 23-year-old sensation from San Antonio, Texas, enjoyed a stellar 2022, guys. Boxing's youngest active world champion in February, stepping in late to meet Carlos Cudres for that vacant WBC super flyweight strap in Phoenix, and then putting on a stunning display in his first defense, stopping Thai star Sor Rungavasi on his San Antonio home turf in June inside 8 rounds. He was named the Fighter of the Year by ESPN in their mid-year awards for 2022 before outpointing Israel Gonzalez on the Canelo Triple G undercard in September. So you know what it is, man. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, he's happy to be back in the ring and doing what he does, man, and that's whooping ass. And I can't wait to see this one. This one gets way 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it, man. Ring walks 10 p.m. is what they're expecting. The undercard on this one's a big one too. We got Raymond Ford on here. One of the fights that I can't wait to see. Amagomedov, this kid,
Yeah.
super bantam, 11-0, 8 KOs. I've talked about this kid a lot, man, from Uzbekistan. He's rated number 5 right now in the world in the super bantam division. I feel like this kid is just not getting, the credit he deserves, man. And he's going to be taking on Marlon Tapalis, who is 36, 3-0. So this one's a step up fight for him, man. And I think the Uzbeki is gonna really show what he's got, man. Ronnie Rios was his last fight. He fought Jose Velasquez, and he's taking them the distance and he's doing well. So we know he can go the distance. We know he can knock people out. I think this kid just pretty underrated. Not a lot of people are giving him the credit he deserves. Raymond Ford, another one. This one's going to be a great fight, step up fight for him. He's taking on Jesse Magdaleno, who is literally 3 spots above him on that rankings list. He's 29-1. That's in that featherweight division. Israel Madarimov, I know we've talked about him. Mark Castro is on this card as well. Kelly Ko, Jesus Martinez. This is a great card. Good one on his own. So any thoughts on this? Anybody want to touch on it?
Yeah, going back to what you mentioned earlier with the replacement, though when Jesse first came on board, and by the way, he is out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Previous show I mentioned them. They have a great stable over there. Iron sharpens iron. But this kid, he just showed up out of nowhere. It was a replacement, and nobody's ever really seen him, and he just put on a spectacular show. Since that fight, I've been watching him nonstop. I've just been watching nonstop. Beautiful boxing ability, foot movement, his angles, his punch selections, everything that he does in that ring. I can't say Lomachenko-ish, but very similar. Very similar.
Right.
And this kid, like you said, he's going to be a superstar. And he's already a superstar. He's already a champion at his young age, youngest with featherweight. The youngest flyweight champion ever. So just look out. Raymond Ford all over social media. He's tired of these fights, even though his opponent is 29 with 1 loss. The next fight, he wants to call out one of the champions. You got 4 different champions holding the 4 different belts. That this past weekend, the Cuban fighter, what's his name? The Cuban fighter out of Miami. He beat his opponent this weekend and took that that WBO belt. So he is hungry. He's hungry. He's wanting to fight one of these four champions, and I can't wait for that fight. The kid definitely got skills, and let's see. I mean, his record, he's still at 13-0, so he might be rushing it a little bit, but at the same time, who knows? Nowadays, you don't have to have 40 fights in order to get a championship, bout. So,
Right.
and also Mark Castro, be on the lookout for this young kid. He was in the talks for Prospect of the Year last year. He didn't take it. Mark Castro,
Okay.
he's young stallion. And like I said, just be on the lookout for this event. You got a lot of young prospects here that are wanting to showcase their skills and become better known throughout the boxing community.
That's cool.
Definitely.
That's really cool.
Speaking of boxing community, there's a great question here coming from another viewer, and he's asking our opinion. So it's kind of a round table, but I'll start it off. I'll pose his question and I'll address it, and then you guys can chime in. He's asking, I'm wondering how you guys feel about the many promoters who are using YouTube for their live fight cards, and do you think this is the way of the future? Now, this brings us back full around to the pay-per-view argument. We've had several promoters on the show, and they have told us that pay-per-view is doing boxing a disservice because it's just costing too much money, and there's not enough talent being promoted, quite frankly, to the boxing fans in general. So when promoters resort to, and a good example of this, quite frankly, Talkin Fight last weekend live streamed a show from Holland, a boxing show featuring one of our own show hosts, David Rajuli. Okay, and our numbers went through the roof, and we offered that show for free. Okay, so I think it's a great thing for the boxing fan to have access to, because there is no such thing as a boxing channel anymore. Like there's no, Major League Baseball has a channel, NFL has a channel. There's no channel. If you go, there's no boxing channel anymore. There's very few, shall we say, free terrestrial TV shows featuring boxing left anymore. I mean, they've all got their premium subscription services. So my answer to this fella is, yeah, I think live shows on YouTube are not. What they're going to find out, though, is it's incredibly difficult to make any money on YouTube. Even your big time influencers, who we're going to talk about in a sec when we talk about Creator Clash, but even your big influencers can't draw big numbers on YouTube in the boxing world. Jake Paul is a great example of that. 20 million followers, but maybe 5,000 of those have become, shall we say, boxing fans. And that's evident when he makes a comment on his Twitter or Instagram feed with respect to boxing. He only gets, roughly speaking, 5,000 responses, comments, whatever you want to call it. How do you guys feel about YouTube and live boxing on YouTube?
Well, all the promoters right now are using that for their undercards or their prelims,
they are.
right? They all are. We got DAZNs before the bell. We got Top Ranks before the bell. Golden Boy Promotions before the bell. All you get to watch the 3 or 4 or 5 fights that are on that undercard, which honestly I think sometimes put up a better show than the actual pay-per-view you're paying for, which is crazy. Honestly, it's the way it's going to be. It's the time of buying these pay-per-views out of a off a channel. I don't think it's the way of the future.
No, especially since we can get them for free.
Yeah, exactly. Why not just do the stream thing?
Yeah, it'll go back to terrestrial TV, and quite frankly, we're talking to one of Tim Witherspoon's friends, Alex Hamer, and he's got a great deal for us if we want to take it to distribute our channel to 70 million households around the world. So we are seriously considering that and making our shows available for free through a variety of different services. So I think boxing has become a lot more popular in the last few years. And even though there's been this huge collaboration between WWE and UFC, combined net worth 9.9 billion, I believe I read.
Mm.
That's a phenomenal corporate size. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about global audiences, you really do need a global service. And so, for example, like I was talking the other day about boxing in Vietnam, boxing in Japan, boxing in Korea, nations that I wasn't. I followed the odd Japanese fighter, to be honest, but I wasn't really following their boxing scene. And when I started digging into it, I couldn't believe how deep it was.
Shania.
And if you remember the other week, I mentioned that I was talking to a fellow in Shanghai, in China, mainland China. One city alone, there are 110 boxing gyms. So imagine how many boxers they're churning out in China right now.
Oh, in Japan, 100 and what?
No. In Shanghai, in China, 110 boxing gyms in one city. 100,
Whoa.
110. So I'm just saying. So when you take all these boxers on a global level, right? And there's no such thing as a boxing channel. Why not? Why not put them onto YouTube? Like Mike said, the big promoters right now that we are all familiar with, they have their undercards streamed live on YouTube, which we watch and have fun with. But
and honestly, they only get it, and they only get it between 5 and say 7,000 people watching
right.
live.
Well,
So
mainly because their production value is pretty poor. They have that one camera shot from the distance, and yes, you can see it. But quite frankly, what just by comparison, what we did, what Talk and Fight did, an independent company, okay, we had cameras on the ground in Holland, following this fight, following this action, not one of these distant cameras. So anyway, the point of the matter is we had viewers from around the world tune in to Talk and Fight to watch this fight live for free. And it proved to us, and that was out of Holland, and it proved to us that there are boxing fans around the world who will watch fights if they are made available for free, no matter where they're coming from, because there are boxing fans in Africa, West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, even North Africa. There are boxing fans across the Middle East. I was speaking to someone in Saudi Arabia just today, and he was telling me about the boxing gyms that they're building up in what's called the Neom sports complex. And it's going to be a first-class, first-rate boxing facility, and it's going to house. And this is above and beyond the King Abdullah Center that they already have in Jeddah, which has already housed a couple of great fights already. So my point to the good viewer, I personally think it's a good thing to have these live fights streamed on YouTube. But I think what's going to happen in the midterm is you're going to find a boxing channel that is going to air the best of the best fights 24/7. So you can go to this channel, and whether they're streaming a live fight from Australia, then they're going to go to Hawaii, then they're going to go to California, then they're going to go to Texas, then they're going to go to New York, then they're going to skip across, and they're just going to circle the world with boxing fights, because boxing fights are happening 24/7 around the world. And right now, we in the Western world aren't following what's happening over in Asia. We're not really following what's happening in Africa. We're not really following what's happening in the Middle East. We're not really aware of the boxers and the boxing community that has been established and that is competitive, right? We're just not aware of it. We just have not been made aware of it. The media outlets in both the U.S. and the U.K. follow very predominantly a handful, let's say, in each division of fighters, and they do represent the best of the best. But what I'm saying is when you begin to mix into this global aspect of boxing, because there is a global fan base, and there is a global fan base because of the local boxing scenes. I mean, it's those local boxing scenes that we're not aware of. So more power to YouTube. But the proviso is they're not going to make any money. So ultimately they're going to have to go to some kind of either micro pay-per-view model or hook up, like I said, with a multi-feed scenario where you have like what I'm suggesting and talking to Alex Hamer about, setting up a boxing channel that's 24/7, featuring fights from around the world. Sorry for my rant, Grumpy Graham. Sitting back.
That sounds like a remix. Grumpy Graham in the house.
It's almost like I dropped the mic moment, like, yo, Grumpy Graham out. Yo. Jesus.
All right, what about,
Jesus.
we got some other good fights coming up this weekend.
Yeah, man. Okay, so we touched on the Bam
Yep.
Rodriguez card and all to watch
Oh.
on there. Guys, watch out for the two Uzbekistan's fighters on that card. Telling you, go ahead, Jay. Sorry, don't mean to cut you
all
off.
good. The fighter that I forgot his name, Robeisy Ramirez, two-time Olympic gold medalist out of Cuba. That was this past weekend's fight. This kid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna tell you that, but yeah. That's the name, Robeisy Ramirez.
A pretty good boxer. Kind of different style. He likes to sit down a lot and cause confusion. You don't know when he's gonna hit you.
That's it, man. And he sits down on those punches too, man. So he's laying people out when he can.
I think the only downside to his style is his foot movement. He doesn't have a lot of foot movement. He depends a lot on feints. Body foot feints. Yeah. So let's see.
And getting countered.
Yep. So let's see once he gets a fight. A higher tier, a higher level boxer. Maybe, what's his name? Ray Martinez, the other Jose Luis, the other IBF boxer that just beat Martinez, fighter out of Spain, and he took his belt. So let's see once he gets matched up with one of those two fighters. Let's see how his style differs from them, and if he could actually make it happen.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Well, let's see if he can, man. I like he passes the eye test. That's it. He passes the eye test. We'll see how he does later on. Honestly, one of the cards, it's got to be the one that everybody's waiting for. King of Brick City, Shakur Stevenson returns home against Yoshino in the lightweight main event at Newark's Prudential Center. Stevenson Yoshino, the return of the heavyweight knockout artist Jared Anderson and lightweight Olympic silver medalist Keyshawn Davis. This one, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. This one, yeah, man, undefeated former two-weight world champion Shakur Stevenson will take on the Japanese puncher Yoshino in a 12-round WBC lightweight title eliminator. In the co-feature, can't wait for this one. Our man, heavy knockout artist Jared, the real Big Baby Anderson, aims for another stoppage in a 10-rounder against an opponent to be named. He is now named as George Aris, who is 18-0. So let's see how this one is. He's climbing the ranks right behind him. This kid's out of Dominican Republic. Resides out of Bronx, New York now. He's 5'11", 74-inch reach. He is 31. He's on the doorstep. Like he's climbing just up those ranks right behind Big Baby. His last fight was against Alante Green. Before that, he fought Cassius Chaney. So we'll see how this one is. I'm saying though, our man Big Baby's he should come through. I'm predicting. Well, I'm not even predicting. I bet it. Bet this shit that it's first round.
Nice. First round. And
that's what I'm saying.
And yeah, Graham, last week you even mentioned that Jared Anderson, the real Big Baby, that he will knock out what's the other heavyweight? Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
All
of them?
You still feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after the Anthony Joshua debacle against Jermaine Franklin. I mean, where was the heart in that fight? There was no heart. Give me a break.
He looked scared.
That was one of the most timid fights I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. Like, I mean, I'll give it to Jermaine for standing in there and taking a few hits, without a doubt. And but to go down to a decision, leave it in the hands of judges, could have gone either way, quite frankly. I think Jermaine got a little bit unlucky on the judges' cards, but Andy Joshua, should he have won? Yeah, okay. Yeah. But what we were all hoping for is to see the old Andy Joshua step up, knock the guy out, but he couldn't, and he didn't want to. He was like, that was the most timid fight I've ever seen in the heavyweight division.
He went into the fight almost, 15 to 20 pounds heavier than what he normally fights. So,
yeah, we
could have had a big role in it.
He
And
should
who,
he should have won, but he didn't.
Mike? Who else is on this card? Because I know there is
Yo,
several more
yo,
prospects.
this card is filled with the blue chips, guys. Our man Keyshawn Davis taking on Anthony Yajit for the WBC and the WBO. Well, first of all, the WBC is the United States light vacant title. WBO Intercontinental light title is on the line. Keyshawn Davis. What can you say about him? Blue chip prospect, medalist. He's taking on 26-2-1 Anthony Yajit. So is this a step up fight? I don't think so. I think it's going to be this one's going to be a shellacking. Jared Anderson, man, yes. Troy Isley, another kid, man. Loved watching this kid fight. Another one of these blue chips came in the same time as Keyshawn Davis and those young cats, all the guys that we literally have started watching as soon as they turned pro. Yeah, man, all these guys. Troy Isley, this kid's 8-0. He's taking on Roy Beringer, who's 9-3. Honestly, I think Troy, he should come through with the victory on this one. He's not Mr. Knockout artist, but he definitely can control the outcome of the fight, man. All his fights that have gone the distance, it's all been unanimous decision. This kid, he's got great fundamentals. He's got a gas tank so he can go, and he's just a machine, man. They call him the Transformer. So he gets in that ring and he transforms from Mr. Nice Guy into just a machine. And when you watch this kid fight, he sometimes gets a little noisy when he's like throwing those punches and stuff. So it's good to watch, man. It's good to watch. Also, Bruce Shoo Carrington, 2-time winner of the Knuckle Up Knockout of the Week. We've had him on here on the show, man. Honestly, love watching this kid. He makes quick work of everything. He's only 25 years old, guys. Featherweight division, ranked 19th right now at a 165 in the United States, 153 out of 1602 in the world. 6-0, man, 3 knockouts. This kid, he's something else to watch. He's got his own style, man. That's one thing about him I know. He's got his own little style. And he makes quick work of it, man. He's got great in and outs. He's got huge potential, this kid, to become, world champion. And you know what? They're gonna fast track this kid too, man. Trust me. Because you know what? There's no point in putting him with people that he's gonna beat, man. Just keep putting people that challenge this kid, and you will see this kid evolve every single time, man. Don't be putting him in there with equals. He doesn't need that, man. This kid needs to be challenged because he's got the ability. He's got that natural ability. Watch when this kid fights, man. Mark my words, this kid's gonna be world champ one day. Also, we can't forget. Damien cannot. What was that? I always have a problem pronouncing.
I had to switch laptops.
Nibba. That's it. Nibba. Yeah, this kid. This kid came out of Poland. Not too many Polish guys on these in these ranks right now. He's 10-0 with 6 KOs in the heavyweight division. Wow. They call him the Polish Hussar.
Oh,
so
this fella.
Yeah. 6'7", 86-inch reach, guys.
Yep.
258 pounds. So watch for this guy to be doing some damage. This is, I believe, his fourth fight on U.S. soil. So now it's time for him to get known. Really, man. 10-0. Time to start putting some real competition in front of him in that heavyweight division. We'll see, man. He's a big boy. We'll see how he does, man. But yeah, that's pretty much that card, man, to knock it out. And
who turned my computer off? Who did you get to turn my computer? I had to get another computer on. That's a shame.
No, your battery probably died.
Shania, the battery didn't die. Yeah, they did some kind of
magic
stuff from Washington, D.C. No, it's okay. It went dead and I had to try to get back on. Sorry about that.
You got knocked out.
I know you always talk about Anthony Joshua real quick. I talk about him all the time. It's there. He making all that money. It's there. It's just a couple of steps away. Just a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, a little lot of that. defense tight, and that's all he need. And Deontay Wilder, like I said on the show, it's just a shame that they don't reach out to the right people, man.
I
Yeah,
just
Tim.
I just don't think that Anthony Joshua has that killer instinct anymore. I think he's
I
lost it.
do.
I don't think he's
You
got it
don't have
anymore.
to listen. If he had the skills, that's his belief. If he knew he could block punches, his last fight he was just like this. If somebody told him how to block jabs, keep his defense tight, counter back instead of grab. So when you grab, you only grab for like a second and a half, 2 seconds, and then you go punching and defense. He was grabbing for long periods. There's little things that he doesn't know from old time trainers that he need to be using, and it will work. Keep that jab strong. Block their jab. When the bell rings, everybody try to control their opponent with the jab and block their jab. You don't even see that. And when they throw multiple punches, you don't see this. I see Anthony like this getting hit with punches, then throw his hands up. Little things is causing this what's going on. Not a whole lot. I'm a boxer, former champion. It ain't a whole lot of things, just a couple of things. And the managements don't even see it. The managers and the train, like some of they don't see it. So
I,
y'all guys are making y'all commenting about certain things, and they only need a couple of things. He got a lot of money though, and that probably got him slowing him down some. But if he had somebody in his corner, I don't care how much money he has, he'll still pick it up. If he know he can block a jab and throw a hit behind it, or his defense, if he know he can't get hit, he still will have that confidence. That's what he don't have.
I think there's a lot of young guys coming up who within this next year are going to prove that they have that killer instinct and are going to displace some of these guys.
But what about the skills? I don't care. What about the skills?
Okay,
You gotta
okay, hang
have
on.
that.
Okay, let's take a flashback moment here for Grumpy's sake. Okay, let's go back to the Mike Tyson days. Okay, are you telling me? Because I think it was his killer instinct that put him in the ring and gave him those victories. And
I agree with you.
all I'm saying is I think right now there are guys who have been promoted to the point where they're not that skilled anymore, and there are guys coming up through the U.S. ranks right now who are skilled and who do have that killer instinct.
But it
And
wasn't killer like Tyson though.
but I can hardly
He
wait to
wasn't a killer
see.
like
I can hardly
Tyson.
wait to see Usyk beat Daniel Dubois. That'll shut the UK fans up pretty quick. Who we got? Zhao Zhang going up against Joe Joyce pretty soon. I hope Zhang wins that one. Let's see who else is left in that mess. Because I want that heavyweight division unclogged. I want it cleared out. So
You just want it clear. You want it cleared of all the Brits.
uh,
That's what you
I,
want. You want none of
what
those Brits to
what
hold
is
those
going to
titles
happen
anymore.
is and I keep telling Carl this is, and I told it this while he was on our show, that these U.S. fighters who are coming up, and we've mentioned a few of them just a few minutes ago, when these guys step into the ring, if they have to cross the ocean to go fight these guys, they're going to win because they call it the eye of the tiger. These guys have they have no fear, and when you talk. Have you seen a picture of Big Baby recently? That guy is a monster. He's an absolute monster. And he's got
No.
killer instinct. He really is fearful.
Listen. Most of the
Nobody.
guys was monsters. I knocked them right on out with the skills. They big and strong. No, I'm serious. You can be big and strong if you don't have that thing behind you.
Yeah, what you
You can
had?
be
You had
mean
beer
all
in
you
you.
want to be, but you gotta have that
Champ,
skill.
Champ, can I ask you this? Champ, can I ask you this? Out of the 38 recorded knockouts, how many of them are right hands? How many of them are left hands? Like, what is it? Do you know?
He wasn't.
Or
He
I
you know,
wasn't
did
you just
not
counting.
put,
got no
or
left
you,
handers.
you just put them all to sleep and you didn't care.
No, I did not got no left handers. Listen, man, I only had 7 amateur
No.
fights.
I'm saying,
Imagine
did you use your right or your left? Which was the more like? Which one did you
my
knock more
right
people out
was
with?
my overhand right. Was I would catch guys with left hooks, but I was still learning when I fought guys like Larry Holmes. I was like only had 7 amateur fights. Imagine if I would have had like at least 30 or 40. You know what I mean? I really believed in Slim, my trainer, and I had more time. What? I started boxing in 1979 to end 1980. I'm fighting one of the greatest boxers 3 years later. So
Yeah.
So I
After
do
that,
believe I would have did a
after
lot
12,
better if I would have
was
did a
it
lot
after 12
better,
pro fights or something like that?
huh?
It was like after 12. It was like after 12 pro fights, right? You only had 7 amateur, and then you had like 12 pro fights, and you took on Larry Holmes.
I think it was 13 pros, but
Who's
imagine
counting?
if I had all that training and you know what? Slim didn't want me lifting weights. He didn't want me doing certain things because that was the old time thing. Nowadays, some
Mhm.
guys pumping weights and they got somebody to loosen them up. Imagine if I was as strong as Evander Holyfield. Oh my goodness. I had to punch and I knew how to deliver it, but suppose I had that stamina. I can't believe it, man, how rich I would be. I would take your guys out to eat too. Yup. I love y'all guys. I would take you out to eat and party. No, but I'm just saying, imagine if I was in the shape with the skills that I had that I had. I'm not saying I had the best, but I had pretty good skills during that time. Imagine if I had that, because I would run, I would do a lot of stuff. Man, I could have did a whole lot of stuff, man. And there was the other ones, they just was strong. Holyfield was just as straight. I don't think that he was a best like skill slip and stuff. He just bounced and bing bing, and then he just put the pressure on you. Tyson just threw him sideways in front of you. He was a monster. Lennox Lewis stand up there and box you because he was big and boom. Man, if
Hey,
I
Tim, I
yes,
have a question for you. Nowadays, it seems it's becoming very popular for retired boxers coming back and doing exhibitions. This past weekend, you had Roy Jones Jr. do an exhibition fight. Would that be something that I'm not? It's just a question. Would that be something that you would do if the money was
He
right?
was already the champion of that league.
No, I
listen,
understand that,
I
and so was Roy Jones in
he
his
turned
weight
me
class.
down. Listen, he turned me down. They said I don't know whether I felt kind of funny because was it because he don't think he'll make a lot of money he's fighting me, or what? But I found out he turned me down. I think it's because of the skills, maybe. But look, I'm ready right now. I worked out today. I hit 3 rounds with the hammer. I hit like 4 rounds on the heavy bag. I run 30 minutes. I don't have no girlfriend. I'm strong. I be picking on my daughter. I be beating up on my daughter like mad because I need a girlfriend. Serious. You know? So I'm really if there was a fight next Saturday, I'm ready. If they said Tyson needs somebody to fill in Saturday, I'm ready. I've been working every day, and I'm kind of angry because I need a girlfriend and stuff. I don't be playing around with it. I don't do that. I just be angry, and I try not to take it out on Shania and everything. But I just want to stay strong just in case something happen. I'm ready. Next week, if they say Tim next week, next Saturday, I'm ready.
And no point of getting ready when you're always walking around ready. So yeah.
Yeah, well, just in case somebody, I already called Shannon Briggs about a month and a half ago. We was at an event together, and I says, "Yo, Shannon, I heard you been trying to, doing, events and stuff, and do the exhibition." And he took my name down, but he didn't call me. He lost weight though. He was big. He lost some weight, but I'm ready. Hey, Roy Jones, I'm right here. Any of them, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'll
that
be
that
angry. Like I
will be
said, I'll be hollering at Shania and then I apologize to her. But I'm ready to let that bull out that cage and go kick that guy off my back.
All right.
I
I'm
tell you, once a
serious.
fighter, always a fighter.
All right.
I don't want
Now,
to, I just want to show people skills and I just want to, I'm really too old to be getting out there. But for all the stuff that's going on, I think that I can let people see some things that's missing. Just a couple of things that's missing in boxing. Some of the boxers. That's all. I ain't trying to prove nothing, but I'm in good shape, and You can look at my eyes, man. Look, I'm ready. The greatest of all times. Psych. I'm just having fun though. I'm just having fun.
I
But
know,
just
I
remember,
know.
I am in shape. I worked out today. I worked out at my son's gym. I worked out at Johan's gym. I hit the heavy bag. I got the big hammer. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. Boom, boom. Hit the heavy bags. Boom, boom. And I do the
Man, I could probably
treadmill.
only
I
do
do the
3 swings.
stairmaster.
I
I
took my
walk the
dog for a walk.
stairmaster, then I do the treadmill. I didn't lift the weights because I hurt my neck a little bit. I hurt my, you know,
I moved from
guys.
the chair to
I'm
the chair.
down to I was 238 first time in 40 years. The other day, I stepped on the scale, 238. Look at my face. It's a little thinner, right?
Yep.
See?
Yep. The girls are going to come flocking, Tim.
Hey,
Yep.
I just
They
been a
come
little
from.
bit depressed though the last couple of weeks and stuff. I had to help my daughter with her kids. She's really good. My daughter Mecca, and my three beautiful grandkids. I've been cooking, and that I really was happy to do that and to sit around and talk with my grandkids, man. And that's what everybody should do. Think about the children. Think about your kids. If you're upset, if you're uptight, think about helping them. Talk to them. Help somebody. That's all I do, man. I want my mom to be proud of me. I want everybody else to say, man, that Tim is a cool dude. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Hey,
Thank you for having me on the show.
we
I
say
wasn't on the
we
show
say it every
because
week.
I didn't want to be. That was important to take care of my grandkids.
Absolutely.
They'll be back tomorrow.
Absolutely. You know, we
One last fight card to talk about.
Sorry, go ahead.
9 p.m. Eastern, guys. Don't forget this one. You're not going to want to miss this. Show champion boxing showtime. Come on, guys. Fundora, 20-0-1. Love watching this kid. Taking on Mendoza, 21-2 with 15 KOs. Come on, tell me another guy you like to watch who's over 6'6" and who fights on the inside.
Oh.
The man fights on the inside and is undefeated. He likes to bang. This one is a good one, guys. Don't miss this. You're going to want to watch this one. Brandon Lee, undefeated on this card as well, 27-0. Luis Ronaldo Nunes, 18-0 on this card. Gabriel Mastre on this card. Frank Sanchez, Gabriela Fundora. Wow, Gabriel Garcia. This card is stacked with a whole bunch of undefeated and young and up-and-coming guys. Don't miss this one, man, for sure. It's going to be a packed card, for sure. But you're not going to want to miss Sebastian Fundora, man. Come on. This kid, 20-0 and 1 with 13 KOs. Super welterweight, guys. 25 years old, 6'5.5", 80-inch reach, and he likes
Say that
to
again. 6'5".
Yeah.
6'5.5", 80-inch reach, and he likes to
How much
fight
is
on
he?
the
How much does he
inside.
weigh?
He weighed in
154.
Super welter. He weighed in at 153 and 3 and
Ooh,
1.
6'5".
Yeah.
Is he Ethiopian or something? Is he?
No.
He's born in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now lives in Coachella, California.
Oh,
he's known as the Towering Inferno.
And he took the belt from Erickson Hammer. He was a fighter, Haitian fighter out of Florida.
Wow.
Erickson Lubin.
Yep. Lubin the Hammer. Yep. He trained.
That's cool.
Yeah, we all kind of. I didn't grow up with him, but watching my nephew grow up in boxing, he was always there at the gym. So we watched him spar a couple times. But from what I heard him say the other day, he's going to come after the Fire Inferno soon. He's going to want that belt back, and it's going to be a really good fight because even though there was a size differential, there was arm length differential. It was a sort of kind of even fight. I mean, they knocked each other down.
I seen that fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a great fight. It was. Oh man, Lubin had a
Didn't he drop the kid? He dropped him a couple of times, right?
Around 7, I remember that one. That was a great fight.
The tall guy dropped the
was,
little guy a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Lubin was down around 2. Fundora went down around 7.
He Hispanic or something?
Who? Fundora?
The tall guy.
Yeah, Fundora is Hispanic. He's Spanish descent. Yep.
I saw a little bit of that fight. He was banging too.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So now he's fighting Brian Mendoza, headlining this card, guys. That one's for the WBC interim World Super Welter title. So don't miss that one. And yeah, the undercard, you can't like, come on, Brandon Lee, Luis Ronaldo Nunes, Gabriel Mastre, Frank Sanchez. The card's full of these young, up-and-coming, exciting fighters to watch. So definitely tune into that one. Gets underway 9 p.m. Eastern time, guys.
Hey.
With that being said, wow, that was a long show tonight, eh?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that right?
Oh,
we're not done.
Oh no.
No. We still got to talk about.
I got to go on another one in a couple of minutes.
No, you're so popular.
Brian. How long are you going to be?
I won't be too long because I just want I just wanted to address the comment made with respect to the WBC and the WBA and whether or not they should join forces. That would be a very interesting scenario on a corporate level, because a lot of the uh, promoters are linking up with specific broadcasters, whether they be online broadcasters or terrestrial broadcasters. So I think someone
Let me make a comment about that
go for it.
real quick.
I'm hoping you would.
If there's a if there's the WBC and the WBA, there's more people fighting. But if you put them both together, there's going to be a longer line waiting. I think it's going to be, if you want to get a title shot, that's going to push you back further. I think by having those two, you'll have more money fights or more fight. Like you got the WBC, the WBA. If you put them together, the waiting list is going to be longer. So coming from a boxer, I think having those extra belts give inspiration to the boxers that's fighting their way up. And then when they see that line too long, it's going to make them like, wow, that's a long road. And I'm not a guy for like having all those belts, but the WBC and the WBA. Now you're looking at it from another perspective, but I'm looking at it as the guys making money and progressing, because there's a long line if you put them both together. The line is gonna be so long back, and you do have a point, but
Yeah, no, I can see
coming
that.
from a boxer, the wait is gonna be longer.
Any comment, Jay?
No, I completely agree with Tim. There's reasons behind having all
Don't
those
do that because I
belts.
got to go over here and right now, Jay.
Hey, I am 200 pounds, but I don't want nothing with you. I don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish up.
No, I sort of kind of agree with Tim. It would deter certain fighters growing in the sport from becoming boxers. If they see themselves, because nowadays, right, like I mentioned before, nowadays you're like Lomachenko. I mean, of course, he was an amateur. In the amateurs, he was one of the best amateur fighters ever, and that allowed him to get in the ring and at a sooner time get a title shot way before everybody else. And then right after that, you see Lopez at a couple fights, and he's already getting title shots. So it's becoming a trend. If you bring all those belts together and you get one belt, it might push away a lot of these fighters from actually wanting to fight, because it's about the money, but you also got a lot of fighters just interested in that prestige, the legacy, leaving, putting their name in the Hall of Fame. So if you have too long of a wait time, they might be like, you know what? The hell with this. I'm going to go ahead and try something out. And, we might push away certain future champions, So, I sort of agree with you, Tim.
So he's trying to find a way I know you're trying to find a way to try to save the boxing, Graham. I'm just saying to save the boxing situation, and by putting it together politically, I think you're trying to solve a problem that way by like putting them together, maybe. But in the long run, guys that need to feed their kids and all that is going to hurt them. They're going to be like in the airport waiting to fly to take their next flight and waiting for this one and this flight. So,
I'm understanding your point. I get it. I do.
Coming
I
from
do.
boxers.
I do. But take a look at what happened in professional football.
Okay.
When you had two competing football leagues in America. What happened when they joined forces? You got the Super Bowl. And does that deter Americans from playing football as youngsters?
Wait. So you're saying two teams?
No.
But it's not a whole lot of teams. How many boxers is it? Like 60 or 70 boxers in one weight class?
There was two competitive leagues at one point. Okay, I'm not going to get into the whole story. Everyone knows the story, but I'm just saying there was two competitive football leagues, and now they're one, the NFL, and they have one championship called the Super Bowl, right? And quite frankly, it's only American teams that compete. Fair enough, but at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that does that one Uber league deter young Americans from wanting to become an NFL player? And the answer is no.
But one on one, a person on person instead of a team on a team, I think is a little bit different. A team is a big team with a whole lot of players. They're playing. Let me see. It really adds down to the same thing. If you got a team playing, you like for the NFL, boom, that's good. But one with a lot of guys in it trying to box, to me, it's a little bit feeling. It's a little bit different
Okay, all
feeling to
right. So
me.
It's like saying the WBC has 50 heavyweights. The WBA has 50 heavyweights. Now you're climbing that heavyweight division. These guys merge. Now there's 100
100,
heavyweights.
yeah.
So instead of 5 fights to get to the 10th rank, now you're going to fight 25 fights to get
but
to the
Yeah.
10th
but
rank.
but they're only all that's happening is that the promoters have to pay for the right to compete for one of those belts. Let's just say, okay, that's all it is. Just a money equation. Okay, so what's really happening is the promoters are developing rosters based on chances within those divisions and those belts that are available. So I mean, I think it's kind of it's there are inequities in the system right now, in the boxing system as an industry, that make it unfair for a lot of young people, without a doubt. I mean, there's probably, I'm going to guess, 100,000 boxers around the world who want a chance, and they're not going to get it because there aren't enough. First of all, there aren't enough gyms, not enough trainers, not enough managers, not enough promoters. So, I mean, regardless of whether the WBC or the W,
And lots of
But
no
I
other
thought they
resource.
made them extra belts
You know
so
what
they
it's
can
fun.
make money. They made those extra belts so they can make money and make more champions. That's really what those promoters did. They made their own belts. Some of them made their own belts to see if they could capitalize on capital for those belts. So they made the WBC this, and all the other belts. I think they did that so they can make the money. But if you put them all together, what promoter is going to run the show
yeah,
if
but
they all on the WBC? How can that happen, Graham?
no, no,
Like if you got all these promoters, who's going to
I'm
do
I,
WBC or
I'm
the
actually I'm
WBA?
actually reflecting a comment that was made by one of our viewers.
Oh,
But you just got me off on a tangent, quite frankly. But I think the reality is, if you you've got the IBF, you got the UBO, you got the NABA, you got all these different belts and titles, and quite frankly, on each continent as well, with the exception of Antarctica. So, you've got all these boxing councils or boxing organizations offering up and what they're doing is they're making money by making the promoters pay them for those fighters to fight for those belts in each region. And I'm not even talking a international championship, with the several exceptions that we know about. And that's what I'm saying. Those are only the several exceptions. So, is it really fair to someone, say, who's really, really a great fighter coming out of India? Does that person have a chance? And the answer is, at the moment, no. At the moment.
but
So,
they give those little belts to pacify the boxers until they get the big shot too. Now like you get the NABF. That's just a
okay,
belt that really don't mean nothing, but you
okay.
know you're going to fight for the title. Maybe 2 fights down. The WB,
Uh,
what is the NABF? That's a small belt, so the young boxers say, "Man, I'm
all right.
champ, but I'm gonna
I
get that big championship." Okay, and there's a lot of little belts like that. They develop them so
Exactly.
the boxers can feel like the next one's going to be a champ. But that's a great issue. That's a nice issue
Hmm.
to continue on talking about.
yeah,
I don't know if you want to keep doing it now because you might want to go get a drink or something.
that's right.
You
That's
might
right.
go get
That's
a
right.
drink. You want to continue on next time?
Yeah, we will always continue on
That's
this issue,
important.
but we are going to sign off very, very shortly. We're all going to have
Okay.
a last little comment. I'll start off just because I just wanted to mention this from the outset, and it is with respect to making money, because I know Jay's going down to Florida. He's going to see this show. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's called Creator Clash. I mentioned it last year when they had their inaugural Creator Clash. Basically, a bunch of influencers who are making millions and millions of dollars a year because of their content that they create. It's funny, it's fun, and they've got a lot of followers. The point matters is these people are millionaires. They've hired trainers. They've stepped into the ring. They're about to go toe to toe now in front of a very large crowd and in front of an even larger online crowd. Okay, but here's what I wanted to say: they're themselves, the fighters, the boxers who are being trained professionally, and they're not stepping in the ring throwing pillows, but all the money. Check this out: they're giving it all to the National Alliance of Mental Health, Able Gamers Charity, the American Kidney Fund, the Nicholas Children's Healthcare Foundation. Uh, I can't read the SFA, the American Heart
Alzheimer's.
Association, Critical Role Foundation, Longest Day Alzheimer's Association, the Paralympic Sports Association, the Humane Society of the United States, and Merrimack Hall. All the money they make, and they're going to make an absolute ton of money instead of keeping it for themselves. Like, and this just goes back to the Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk debacle, okay? Because they were just arguing about money. The money that these youngsters are going to put into the into the pockets of the actual promoter. There is a promoter, okay, but that the net proceeds are going to all those different charities. Period. Period. Those boxers are not making a dime. And all I'm saying is like, and if it can be done by a group of people who 2 years ago were not boxers, but who are now filling an actual stadium, and they'll probably have hundreds of thousands of viewers live streaming, watching that, and I'll bet paying and happily paying. So like Terrence Crawford, was he 39-0? Why isn't he fighting? Why?
I heard that's getting underway. Talks are back.
Nah, you know what I'm saying. You got Terrence Crawford, one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, and he's not fighting. Why? Because he's not making enough money. Quote, end quote. That's my rant. I'm sticking with it.
Well then, all right. That being
And
said, Jay, go ahead.
yeah, looking forward to next week, Graham. Looking forward to watching 20,000 fans in the Amalie Arena over there, the Lightning Stadium Arena. Like you mentioned previously, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible. The Creator Clash 1, they sold 10,000 tickets. They had over 100,000 pay-per-view buys. This time around, they're going to sell 20,000 tickets, and I believe it's just going to double. They put in $1.3 million the last go around into these charities. So, like I said, this time I believe it's just going to be even a bigger show. There's 12 bouts happening, and I'm going to be there. Talking Fight's going to be there. We're gonna be there Friday at the weigh-in and at the press conference, and we're gonna be there at Saturday night covering the fight. So, yes, kudos to them. They're gonna do a great thing for people in need, but also kudos for us because we're definitely gonna be there. We're gonna show up, and just please watch our show next week. We might bring it up again, and Sunday morning, Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, you will also be able to see me talk about it. So, yeah, can't wait.
Thank you, Jay.
Tim.
Beautiful.
Any last words, Tim?
No, I know they put up there, it was talk real quick. I'm glad to be on the show and everything, and I'm looking forward to next week. They put down that how about Reddick Bowe and me? I don't. Somebody told me that Reddick Bowe was training and he's looking okay, but I still don't want to fight him because of our we kind of old in the brains and stuff like that, and he really doesn't talk really that great. I wouldn't do nothing like that. I would turn that down. I see it up there.
Yeah, no, yeah, from one of our viewers. Well, that being said, guys, today's show, it's a long one. It was a good one. Great talks. It was a blast. To all the Talkin' Fight fans, thanks for tuning in. To everybody who watched, all the viewers, everybody who dropped a comment, thank you, man. Without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. You know what it is. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel, new topics.
He's throwing them punches.
Oh yeah, I'm learning something.